And really, in order to make money, you need a better relationship with money and yourself. Because, a lot of people are scared of money. They're scared of charging the right money. They just don't like talking about it. They feel uncomfortable around it.
And through my research, there's over 35 different ways we can sabotage ourselves.
And we're going to grab it and we're going to pull it out by the roots. That's what we're going to do.
Gently, George, gently.
Yes, absolutely. That's right. Gently.
Then we're going to interview George and get inside George's mind.
Okay, this is scary.
And George has no idea what I'm going to ask him.
I didn't even realize this was going to happen, but I'm brave. I will do it. Why not? Because obviously, to have this belief, you've got to get out of your comfort zone to try something and try to succeed. That's the fact of it. There's no way of doing it and being totally comfortable. But I imagine myself on my deathbed and think to myself, would I rather go, I was really safe and I did nothing and I was really safe? Or would I say, look, I tried this, stuffed up, I did this, it went really well, I became a billionaire, and that sort of stuff. So that's one of my beliefs. And we're going live. Hello and welcome to Money for Life. Tonight, I'm going to be talking about just this one thing you got to stop doing because it's crushing the results. Now, the thing is, you may have read the book, you've done the course, you've spoken to your friends, your wife, you want to do something, you've even done your to-do list, but then you hesitate. You just don't get happening. You don't get started. And then what happens is you wait, you get more information, you go on YouTube, go onto the internet, go down a rabbit hole, and you hesitate some more, right? What is this? This is called fear of failure as the one thing killing results. It's not the market killing results. It's the fear of failure. And fear of failure is really not trusting yourself disguised as something smart, but it's not. Because if you don't get started, nothing ever happens. And this is the one thing killing results from everyone around the world. And I've got Dr. Vesna here joining me tonight. And what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about the one thing that's holding you back. And we're going to give you some great strategies that's going to help you make the first step and move forward. Because even one step forward gets rid of that fear of failure and hesitation and actually gives you that momentum to move forward. And sometimes that's all it takes. Vesna, welcome.
Thank you, George. Welcome, everyone. Good to be here.
Yes, so the one thing holding people back. And we're going to grab it and we're going to pull it out by the roots. That's what we're going to do.
Gently, George, gently.
Yes, absolutely. That's right, gently. So anyway, what I was going to do is to start off with, I'm going to give everyone the state of the nation and show you what's been happening because we didn't get a chance to do it last week, and just give you the latest information of what's been happening in the world. And then we're going to start our session. Now, if you got any questions, Dr. Vesna, I suggest you start typing now because they're going to come thick and fast later, and then we're going to be able to go through them and hopefully help you. Okay, so state of the nation. This is what's been happening over the last couple of weeks. So this is the reason why Australia is facing a permanent infrastructure shortage. See, adding 1 million people to a city creates enormous pressure on infrastructure. See, Australia needs one hospital bed for every 270 people, meaning roughly that means we need 3,700 beds or 7 to 8 new hospitals for each extra million residents that we get. That alone would cost around about $7.5 billion. Then schools are another challenge. To maintain current ratios, each city would need around 360 new schools, costing about $10 billion by 2040. Also, more people means 600,000 extra cars, 200,000 commercial vehicles, yet both road tunnels and rail lines now cost $1 billion per kilometre to build. Water demand would rise by 200 million litres a day, while prisons would need an extra 2,000 new cells, another 1.2 billion. Cities will also require thousands of extra police, nurses and firefighters, plus more facilities to house them. And tragically, another 1 million people would statistically mean about 48 more road deaths each year despite safety efforts. That's the hard stuff. The easy stuff is actually building houses. So housing should be the easiest type of infrastructure to deliver because it's pretty basic compared to a hospital, school and everything else, roads and tunnels. But layers of codes and regulations and planning approvals have made it increasingly difficult, and we can't even hit that, let alone infrastructure. So that's what's been happening in Australia, and basically now it takes longer and costs more to build the same homes than it did 20 years ago. So the federal government's goal of constructing 1.2 million homes in 5 years is at best optimistic, at worst unrealistic. I say it's unrealistic. And our housing supply continues to fall behind. So what's happening is population growth accelerates, pressure isn't just building housing and traffic, but also hospitals, schools, water supply and other essential services. So Australia's growth challenges are pretty big. Now, governments love immigration because, as you can see, you get more immigrants. You need to build more houses, you need to build more schools, you need to build more infrastructure, you need more people working as nurses, police, so you got more jobs as well. So what happens is having immigration sparks the fire of increasing the GDP. And as the GDP goes up, the government gets more taxes. And that's what government loves. And that's the main reason they're doing this, right? Now you look at Australia's housing shortage, it just got worse. So dwelling commencements fell 4.5% due to a 6.6 drop in new detached houses. So it's actually going worse than better, and we need to improve it because we're way behind. Now, over the year till June 25, total dwelling completions dropped by 12.5%. Now look at this. Australia's new shortage is worse because you look at the number of homes for rent in combined capital cities, and then you look at the new listings. The number of homes listed for rent nationally and alongside the vacancy rates collapsed to a record low. So there's no properties to rent anymore. So also what's happening is the AFR recently reported warnings from Miravac about a possible downturn in Australia's construction sector next year. Right, so Mirvac's chief of development told City's annual investment conference that major subcontractors are expecting a sharp drop in work, with many government projects finishing and a few large apartment projects starting. As a result, some construction crews are already laying off staff. So only 10,000 apprentices completed their training in the first quarter of 2025, the lowest number in a decade. So 2024-25, the government's fallen 27% short. So to catch up, we need to build another 256,000 homes. Now, apartment projects are laying dormant. In Melbourne, there's 8,000 unsold apartments priced well below new build costs, and they're blocking the fresh supply and pushing housing costs higher. So there's 8,000 unsold apartments just sitting there doing nothing. And I've been saying this for a long time, not to buy apartments in the CBD in Melbourne. So that's what's happening at the moment. And afterwards, I'm going to go through our client wins, but until then, we're going to talk about mindset. I'm going to do a little handoff to you, Vesna.
All right. Welcome, everyone. Great to be here again. Good to be back. So tonight, what I'd like to do is have a little introduction first, just give you a little bit of background, and then we're going to get into helping to identify your beliefs and looking at which ones are holding you back and which ones need to change. And we'll do a little exercise to help you as well. So by way of introduction, research has shown that our mind functions on two levels. The conscious mind, which is only 10%, that's your analytical brain, only comprises 10% of your overall functioning. Okay, so that's the analytical mind. The unconscious mind comprises a massive 90% of your functioning. So the unconscious mind does the bulk of the work when it comes to running your behaviors, your habits, your beliefs, etc. So if we want to make changes effectively that stick, we need to work with the unconscious mind rather than the conscious mind, which is in charge of willpower.
Yeah, okay. So the difference between conscious and unconscious, I'd like to give a bit of an example. It's a bit like, when you're 16 and you get your L plates and you've got to learn how to drive a car and you're in the car and you've got to try to think, okay, I've got to put the key in, I've got to get the seat right, I've got to get my hand on this gear, put my thing on the clutch. It's very difficult, really difficult. And you've got to focus so hard. And you're thinking, how the hell am I going to do this? And then before you know it, you're driving, you're not supposed to do this, but talking on the phone, cruising around, doing your hair, drinking a coffee, and you do it all unconsciously. I've actually sometimes, when I used to drive back from work, sometimes I'd get in my car and then rock up in my driveway and go, how the hell did I get here? I don't even remember getting here because I was so used to doing it. And then I moved house. And after I moved house, I kept driving to my old house for the first month because I was programmed to go there, right? And then I'd rock up to my old house, wave, and then go back to the new house.
Yeah, well, spot on. So when we're doing something automatically without even thinking about it, that's the unconscious habits and behaviors kicking in. Yeah. So we condition ourselves over time to do things automatically. So just so you know, the unconscious mind does very important things. You may not be aware of this, but it's the part of you that actually runs your body. Okay? It breathes you, it pumps your heart, does all the things you don't have to think about. Imagine having to tell yourself when to beat your heart and doing that every second of every day to keep you alive. Okay, that'll be doing it consciously. So in order to keep you alive, the unconscious mind does that automatically for you. So the fact that you're sitting here, living and breathing, means you have an unconscious mind doing all of that for you. Okay? The unconscious mind also stores all your habits, all your behaviors, and all your beliefs. And this is why it can be challenging to change them with willpower, because willpower is working with the 10% of conscious mind. So by working with the root cause of where they're actually stored, you get the permanent change, and it's much faster. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit more about that later. So tonight I'd like to do an interactive session with all of you. Okay, so it's going to be participatory, and I'd like everyone to have pen and paper ready, because we're going to do this in a few different parts. Firstly, we're going to explore your own beliefs. Then we're going to interview George and get inside George's mind and find out what makes George tick when it comes to property investing. And,
Okay, this is scary.
and then we're
I'm
going to
live and live.
and
I'm,
live
I
and
love it.
live. And George has no idea what I'm going to ask him.
Oh, I didn't even realize this
Yeah,
was going to happen, but I'm brave. I will do it. Why not?
sure. Of course you will.
What could
Um,
possibly go wrong?
put you out of your comfort zone. And then we're going to look at the difference, look at what's different between the mindset of a master property investor like George and yourself, or if they're the same. Okay, and what you need to align to have the same financial freedom.
Okay,
Yes.
so just to unpack this a little bit for everyone.
Yes.
So what you're saying is, what we can do is we can look at the beliefs of someone that's very successful at a certain thing.
Yes.
Then if we look at those beliefs, if we had the same beliefs, we could create the same actions because beliefs work in the unconscious mind. Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is that all these beliefs that people have that hold them back, that sabotage them, are unconscious beliefs. And
Mm.
we need to, first of all, become aware of what they are, because that's the first step, become aware of them. And then if we can look at someone who's successful, like yourself, George, and look at your beliefs and look at the difference, and then we can change any beliefs that we have that hold us back to make the same positive beliefs as you have, George, so that way it can accelerate our success and we can actually get there faster than George did initially in terms of success.
Yeah, it took me a long time to get those beliefs and a lot of courses. Now, so what you're saying is this is like you're doing a Tony Robbins and everyone, because this is exactly what Tony Robbins does.
Well, we're not going to spend all night here, George.
I get that, but Tony Robbins really works in the beliefs. He's very good at that. And I've seen him do that stuff, and it's
Yes.
very powerful. When people pay Tony Robbins $100,000 for one day, probably more now. That was 20 years ago, to help them with their beliefs and just fix them. And he worked with Andrew Agassi and worked on his beliefs. And what happened was, I don't know where he was. He went really down the ranks and then
Mm,
worked with Tony Robbins for one day, changed his beliefs because he ended up with some negative beliefs and stuff in his head, changed those, and then
yep,
suddenly became the number one tennis player in the world again, just through doing this. That's how powerful this is.
it
So
is. It's very
very
powerful.
powerful. You know,
Yeah.
imagine becoming the best tennis player again in the world, and it was just your beliefs holding you back, even though he had
Mm,
everything else physically, nothing
yes,
changed.
that's it. Exactly. Exactly. So sabotage, it's what holds people back from having the success they want. And so what we need to do is look at what's causing the sabotage. And through my research, there's over 35 different ways we can sabotage ourselves. Our limiting beliefs are one of the major saboteurs of success and finances and all areas of life. So it's very important to look at beliefs. And even quantum science has proven that what we believe creates our reality and our results. So when we change our beliefs, we change our reality and our results. Okay? So it's actually been proven through science.
Interesting because I know a guy, don't know him that
Mhm.
well anymore, but
Okay.
every time he made money, he couldn't handle it and he'd gamble it away or do
Yeah.
something stupid and buy stuff and just he
Mhm.
liked having zero in his bank account, not consciously, unconsciously, because consciously he wanted money, but
Yes.
whenever he'd get money, it would burn a hole in his pocket and he'd get rid of it. Like, and he just couldn't hold on to it. And that was
Yeah,
probably self-sabotage. And
absolutely.
maybe he had a limiting belief, maybe he didn't think he deserved it or thought money was bad or something like that.
Yes, correct, correct. So the thoughts we have around money are usually caused by beliefs, and that could be positive or negative. So we just need to identify what they are, and then the ones that are negative, we need to let go of and replace with the positive.
Money beliefs are a funny thing because a lot of people have got a strange relationship with money. And really, in order to make money, you need a better relationship with money and yourself. Because, a lot of people are scared of money. They're scared of charging the right money. They just don't like talking about it. They feel uncomfortable around it. And really, money's a tool and you should feel comfortable around it or get yourself to be comfortable, because by having the right relationship with money, you attract money to you. Because, that law of attraction is all about not sabotaging yourself, right? Because your unconscious can sabotage you in many ways. And I know that for a fact because I used to sabotage myself with money. And then I was doing NLP, and what happened was it made a big difference because it changed my beliefs. And then I started making more money. I didn't change my skill. I didn't change anything. I'd already had the desire to make lots of money, but I kept sabotaging myself because I didn't know what I was doing. So it's true.
Yes, yes, yes. So often sabotage is unconscious, absolutely. People are taking one step forward, two steps back. They don't know how they're doing it, what's causing it, what's preventing them. So it's really important to identify that.
And this can happen when it comes to fitness, relationships, the job, all
Yes.
sorts of stuff.
Hopefully not all areas of life, yes.
Well, yeah, exactly. You don't want to sabotage yourself in everything, right? No.
Yeah, that's it. All right. So is everyone ready to get started? Who's keen to have a look at their beliefs?
I'm keen.
Yeah. Okay, great. Everyone ready with pen and paper?
Yep.
Awesome. All right. So we're going to look at everybody else's first, then we'll come to you, George, if that's okay.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do it.
Great. Wonderful.
Yep.
All right. So the first question I have for everyone, and what I'd like for you to do is just write down whatever comes to mind without editing it. This is really, really important. Just do a brain dump, literally. Okay. And I'd like you to write down the first 5 things that come to mind as you think about money. What are your beliefs around money? And just write down whatever comes to mind. Complete the sentence. Money is whatever comes to mind.
Okay, I'm done, but I'm quick at this. Type in the chat when you're done. What we'll do is we'll give people like a 90-second timer, and then we're going to move on because we need to move on because it's a live show. And people watching at home, people listening to the podcast, please do this as well. It's got a great idea, and it's going to be good.
Awesome. Good idea. All right. So we'll go with the next question. What are your beliefs around property investing? So whatever comes to mind. And jot down the first 5 things that come to mind.
Sorry, are you able to actually repeat the question? I couldn't quite get it.
Yes, absolutely. What are your beliefs around property investing or investing in property? Okay. All right. So the next question for everyone. What are your beliefs about your ability to be successful? What are your beliefs around your ability to be successful? Just generally in life. Excellent. And final question for everyone. Again, the first 5 things that come to mind. What are your beliefs around financial freedom? Financial freedom. What are your beliefs around financial freedom? Excellent. All right, well done, everyone. So next, I'd like for everyone to have a look at what you wrote down in reply to all those 4 questions. And you're looking for patterns. Do you notice a similarity there? Are all the statements positive or negative? Are they mainly positive, mainly negative, a combination?
Yeah, share, type in the chat if you'd like. It'd be great to type in the chat,
Great.
your findings are.
And notice if there's repeat words or repeat phrases. All positive, great.
Excellent. Money beliefs are negative, but positive now, lots of hope. Mixed, repeated is negative, she's positive, all positive, common words, freedom, all positive. We've got some great things there. Giving, all positive, 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 switch of doubt, combination of both, negative mainly, combination of both mainly positive, mixture, positive.
Great, wonderful. All right, so now we're going to have a little interview with George. And
Before we do the interview, I'd love to get some of the negative beliefs people have. Can you guys type in your negative beliefs? Because I think this is going to be powerful. Because I want to see if we can change a few of these beliefs. You never know. If I can repeat my progress in the last 15 years, that I could achieve financial freedom, excellent, positive, and team-orientated lifestyle, independence, freedom, choices. If anyone's got any negative beliefs, type them in if you want. But while we do that, Vesna, let's interview me.
All right, so some of you may want to write down George's positive beliefs so you can then compare George's with yours. Okay, so George, first of all, what do you believe about money? What did you write down?
Luckily, I already did this, which is great. Okay. My first thing with money is a tool. So I've got, it's a tool, freedom, choices, do good, longevity. On my goal to create health and longevity, I think money is the biggest tool for that.
Okay, great. Did everyone maybe repeat it once more, George, so people can write it down?
It's a tool, freedom, choices, do good, longevity. Do good, longevity. I know longevity is a weird one to put in there, but that's what came to my mind.
Excellent. All right. So have a look at what you wrote down, everyone, for that belief around money. And is there a similarity? Okay. If it's similar, that's excellent. If it's different, you may need to make some alignment changes there.
That's right. And all my beliefs shouldn't be your beliefs either. You take what's going to work for you, what resonates, you know what I mean? Because I think longevity, some people think that's a stupid one, right? But for me, it's really powerful.
Yes. Yeah. All right, great. So now, George, what do you believe about property investing property?
Okay, the ultimate investment, compounding growth, leverage, safest way to invest, scarcity factor, golden opportunity.
Okay, great. Maybe one small bit slower, please. Yeah.
The ultimate investment, compounding growth, leverage, safest way to invest, scarcity factor, golden opportunity.
Did everyone get that? Anyone want to repeat it? All good. Okay, great. So now have a look at what you wrote down and compare it to George's. Again, is there a similarity? Anything you need to change or align? Okay. Who's noticed a similarity?
Type in yes for similarity, N for no.
Mm-hmm.
Change, that's why I'm here. Yes.
Great. So the main thing is you write down what George says, and then you can do a more detailed comparison later. For now, just have a look if it's similar or different, and if there's anything you'd like to change or align there. All right, let's do the next one, George. So your ability to be successful in life.
I'm very confident of my ability, but also I've got a belief that I'd rather try and fail than not try and not fail. What I do is I imagine myself, because obviously to have this belief, you've got to get out of your comfort zone to try something and try to succeed. That's the fact of it. There's no way of doing it and being totally comfortable. But I imagine myself on my deathbed and think to myself, would I rather go, oh, I was really safe and I did nothing and I was really safe? Or would I say, look, I tried this, stuffed up, I did this, it went really well, I became a billionaire and, that sort of stuff. So, that's one of my beliefs. I like the challenge of getting out of a comfort zone. That's another thing. And positivity creates success. So I know the positive mindset, you're so much stronger to be able to create success. I'm probably overconfident, to be honest with you, but that's just one of my things. I like the challenge of getting out of a comfort zone. That's another thing. And positivity creates success. So I know the positive mindset, you're so much stronger to be able to create success. I'm probably overconfident, to be honest with you, but that's just one of my things.
Okay.
But it works. Most things I try do work out because I see failure as a learning.
Yeah. In NLP, we believe that everything's feedback rather than failure. So if we go to achieve something and we get something less than what we want, it's simply feedback to adjust what we're doing so we can get there next time.
Exactly. So when I first started investing in property, I was super confident, but I got it wrong. And then I got it wrong again, and I did it again. But I kept trying different things. I didn't make the same mistake twice, and learnt and built an SOP operating system on how to do it properly. So the good part is each failure was actually a stepping stone towards success.
Yes.
Because you need that feedback. You can't just try something and become successful unless you join our program and I help you. I thought I'd cheekily put that in.
Yeah. Well, it's called modeling excellence. So if somebody's doing it really well, you can replicate their success by modeling their strategies. Yeah.
Exactly.
And getting there faster rather than working it out yourself. And the last one, George, what do you believe about financial freedom, please?
Choices, travel, generosity, time and mind space, inner peace, gratitude. So I really believe that time and mind, to be able to control your time and mind, you need financial freedom. Otherwise, you're stuck. Your mind's controlled, your time's controlled by external factors.
Okay. All right. Maybe just repeat that once more for everyone, please.
Choices, travel, generosity, time and mind space, inner peace, gratitude.
All right. And now please compare it to yours. Compare it to your beliefs around financial freedom. And notice, is there similarity or is there a difference? Anything you need to align there?
I was going to read the other comments while we're doing this, while people are doing it. Okay, so we've got positive and team oriented, a lack of confidence, systems stacked against us, such as inflation and slow wage growth. Hard to get there and takes a long time. Both ebbs and flows, distractions in life and challenges that can get in the way. I'm afraid I'm bad with money. I don't know how to save money. My patterns are negative. Other people can do it, but not me. Repeated phrase, not or me, interesting. Out of reach, no structure, greed, risky. Invest in myself, financial freedom comes, my beliefs have been work focused rather than investment. And had wanted, needed freedom, stuff and crazy, a bit scary but exciting. Change, that's why I'm here. Yes. Sounds like an orgasm. Can you repeat, please? Yes, on some. A little bit. A bit different. Love that. I failed when I bought a unit, but I succeeded when I bought houses. Nice. Choices, travel, generosity, time, mind space, inner peace. Oh, Kimberly, that's me. Similar, maybe less confident. There you go.
Great. Excellent. All right. So everyone, have you noticed any patterns in terms of what your beliefs are? Does anyone have anything negative in theirs? Anything with nots, don'ts, can'ts, shoulds, have tos in what you've wrote down? Because these are typically negative.
Yep, hard came a bit.
Okay. Anyone else? Anything negative?
Out of reach, exhausting hard work, lack confidence, failing, Not really. I put must.
Yes, dear.
Nice. Must. Lack of confidence. Yeah, so difficult, hard, lack of confidence is quite a theme there.
There is, yes.
Yeah, I do deserve.
Mhm. So I'm going to talk about something that's very, very important. A lot of people confuse these, which is sort of feeding off the theme that George just ran out. There's a difference between confidence and competence. Is everyone aware of the difference? Confidence is a feeling and it's based on our self-belief. The more self-belief we have, the greater our confidence. Competence is a level of skill and a strategy around how to do something. So often people have confidence and some of them lack competence. And you see them, they talk themselves up really big, but they don't deliver. And then there's people who have lots of competence and they lack confidence and they don't tend to put themselves out there or promote themselves. So both can be a challenge. So you need confidence and competence in equal measure to be successful.
They need to sort of align, don't they?
They do.
Because if your confidence is too high and your skills aren't, that's not good.
No,
Or your system.
that's
But
right.
yeah, I agree. Competence brings confidence. Sometimes, Jane, exactly. But look, I know some people that are very confident, but they've got no competence. But usually it's the other way around. There's a lot of people that are competent, but they just don't have the confidence and they're stuck. I see that a lot, all the time. That's the biggest thing I see.
All right. So who here would like to have more confidence? Maybe show of hands, just so we can have a look. George, you've got enough. You said you've got too much.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will stack some more on there. Why not?
Mhm. Okay, so a few people saying yes. Anyone else want more confidence? Great. Anyone have too much confidence, except for George?
Look, you can never have too much. I need some more. Bring me more confidence.
Okay, all right. So, um, confidence, as I said, is a positive feeling. Okay, so and we can actually access positive feelings very, very quickly, provided we've felt those feelings before. So, what we can do tonight, and it's really up to everyone here. If you'd like me to take you through this, I can actually help you to set up a very quick way of accessing instant confidence. So you have that confidence boost literally at your fingertips. Who would find that useful? Anyone? Few people? Okay, great. All right. Now, there is a bit of a caveat. You need to have felt confidence before for this to work. So has everyone felt confident at any time in the past about anything? Going on a holiday, exercising, anything at all? Okay, that's all you need. At least one time when you felt confident in the past, maybe doing a puzzle, anything, we can access that confidence again and capture it and use it in the future. All right. All right, so let's do it. So I'd like for everyone to think about a time when they felt very confident about anything at all. Just think about a specific memory in the past when you had that confidence. And let me know when you have that before we continue. Maybe put a yes in the chat. Excellent. All right, so quite a few people ready. Wonderful. So the next thing we need to do is pick a spot, okay? Because what we're going to do is we're going to remember a time, a specific time, Lindsay, a specific time when you felt confident. Remember a time, and then as we're remembering that time, every time we remember a memory, there's an emotion attached to it. That's the way our mind works. So we're going to go back to that time when you felt confident, and you're going to feel it again as you think about it. And then we're going to capture that feeling in a spot like a knuckle. And then anytime in the future when you want to feel confident, you push that knuckle and your mind automatically remembers to feel confident.
Can I jump in?
Yes?
Okay. I think everyone needs to stand up because when you're confident, you're normally standing up. Should we get their posture right as well?
As long as you're sitting upright. You can
Okay.
be sitting down as long as you're sitting upright. So avoid sitting like this.
What you
Yeah.
need to do is have your eyes up, shoulders back. You've got to go in a confident posture to access confidence inside you.
Well, that'll happen naturally as people remember the time they were confident, George.
Of course, yes. There you go. That's why you're
Okay.
a doctor and I'm not.
Yeah, we're not going to do the rah-rah version. We're going to do the the more effective way. All right. So what I'd like everyone to do is pick a spot where you'd like to capture that confidence. Okay, so knuckles are really good. Pick a spot you never use except for this purpose. So if you never touch a particular knuckle, pick a knuckle. And we've got 3 sets on each hand. So we've got lots of knuckles. Knuckles are good. So everyone please pick a knuckle. Everyone got one? Yeah. Yeah, maybe show me what you've chosen. It could be pressing fingers together. It could be other bony bits. Just show me where you've picked it. Great. Excellent. All right. So now test the pressure. I'd like for you to press that spot. Make sure it's firm enough, yet comfortable. Okay. We want to make sure it's comfortable when you use it.
Okay, so look, I need everyone to turn their cameras on because we can't see you. We don't know you're doing it. Okay, let's do this.
Yes.
Let's turn our cameras on. We're not the secret society. We're a public society.
Yes.
This is not the Freemasons. Look at all those lovely faces. Much better. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So everyone ready? Okay. So what you need to do is have your knuckle ready. Have your other finger ready to press it. So hover above that spot. Avoid pressing it just yet. Yep. And I'd like for you to close your eyes, please. Okay. So make sure your finger's above there with your eyes closed. Yeah. Okay. So eyes closed, everyone. And what I'd like for you all to do is to remember that specific time when you felt totally confident. I'd love for you to go right back to that moment in time, right now in your mind, float right down into your body, see what you saw at the time. The moment you feel the confidence, press that knuckle and go right back there, see what you saw, hear what you heard, and really feel the feelings of being totally confident and really step into that confidence. Really feel it. And hold on to that spot for as long as you feel it. And only let go the moment it drops off in intensity. The moment it drops off in intensity, let go. And come back and open your eyes when you're done. All right. Looks like everyone's done. Okay, excellent. All right. So you have now captured that feeling in that spot. So next time you need to have that confidence boost, all you need to do is use the same pressure, press the same spot, hold on to it until you feel the confidence, and then let go. So let's test it. Let's just go ahead and press that spot now, the same pressure, and notice how you feel.
That was excellent. Really worked well. I can feel it straight away. Who can feel it? Type in the chat. I'm curious who it's working for. Yeah, I feel very excited and confident at the moment. Great.
Good.
Thank you, Vesna.
You're welcome. Now, some of you may need to repeat it to reinforce it to make it even stronger, because some people have stronger emotions than others. So some of you may need to just repeat that again and reinforce it. Okay. Any questions about your confidence anchor, as we call it in NLP?
Yes, what I'd love to do, Vesna, is now that we've done this exercise, what I want people to do is type in any questions you've got, but I'd love to go in little breakout rooms where we can get together and we can share the one thing we learned tonight and our biggest win. Because I think now that we've got an anchor, we can do this. It's going to be a lot of fun. And can we switch off the live stream? Everyone watching us live, thank you very much for watching. Now we're going to go to our private group. See you next Thursday for Money for Life. It's going to be great. Cheers.